Blackistan might be asking themselves, well, what can we do to bring ourselves out of this frequency? Well, I'm going to give you some ideas, and I want you guys in Blackistan to take this seriously and start taking notes, because the things that I'm seeing online are old and outdated. And so here's a challenge that you can do. So for the girls that are living in Blackistani areas, you know that there's mothers in your areas that have to work. So a number of you could start a daycare business right in your home, looking after 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 children at a time. And when you get paid, take a small portion of that money and reinvest it back into the business. So each time you get paid, take a little bit of that money and reinvest it back into the business. So if you're looking after 5 kids, you know that there's mothers in your community that need to work. So if you're looking after 5 kids, then you can reinvest some of that money in setting up a very promising daycare center in your home. Take one room in your home or even your living room and turn it into a very healthy child daycare environment and bring in that money. So that's one idea. You know that there's mothers that have to work, so look after the children. Some of you girls out there that you're 15 and 16 and 17 years old, you know that there's young mothers in Blackistan that want to go out. So start a business babysitting for babysitting kids for mothers that want to go and spend a night out or two. They want to go out at 12 o'clock and come back at 5 a.m. Be there to look after those kids and then charge a good healthy fee for it. And I would probably charge an affordable price so that they come back and treat the kids really good so that they'll want to come back and start a small business babysitting, looking after children for mothers who want a night out on the town. How many of you in your neighborhoods are into herbalism? Start a small garden somewhere in your home or on the side of your home or in some hiding area and grow herbs. Start it in your bedroom. Start it in your bathtub or if you have a basement, start it in your basement. And grow herbs and dry them and sell the herbs. And sell them at reasonable prices in your neighborhoods so that, you know, if somebody has a headache, they could come to you and get a natural herb, crushed, natural herbs that you grew in your home, and make sure that they are 100% good herbs, grown in a very healthy environment. When you start making big money, get a community center going somewhere, or rent a building somewhere where you can grow these herbs big time, and you can start an herbal business. Start a braiding shop where you braid hair all day, and charge reasonable prices so that you have people coming back to get their hair braided. Start a makeup business where you're applying makeup, and each time you get paid, reinvest back into the business, buying more makeup and lamps and a place where you can apply it. And then when something special comes up, birthdays, proms, weddings, you got a clientele. So see, these are all business ideas that you guys can start working on doing, instead of just going around from project to project, starting fights and fighting all day. There's a whole lot of things that you guys could be doing. And I want you to take this very seriously, because if you're looking to survive, then these are ideas that you can incorporate into your everyday life, and then come up with a way to start a business in these hoods, so that you can make these hoods a better, more comfortable place, so that eventually you could build these hoods into livable communities. And we're talking, everybody needs to be on a business level consciousness. So we need makeup artists, okay? We need teenage girls to babysit. We need young adults to look after children, so that mothers can go and work at these jobs. What about a medic? Does somebody around there own a car? Instead of, having someone drive themselves to the doctor, maybe you can go into business driving people in your area to their doctor's appointments. You usher them in, you usher them out, okay? Which means you help walk them into the doctor's appointment. You make it a very pleasant experience for them. You walk them out, and you escort them to their living quarters, okay? And charge a reasonable price so that they recommend you and come back. There's a lot of dolls that people are buying now. Maybe some of you out there can learn to reroot the hair on reborn dolls. You can learn to reroot the hair for Barbie dolls. People can send you their dolls, and you reroot their hair and send the doll back. Start a business doing that. Start a business washing cars, and charge reasonable prices. Just simple things. Because man, I sure wouldn't mind somebody coming to my home and washing my car, just the exterior. Maybe once or twice a month. If you're living in an area where there's homes go around and do housework. You can start a cleaning business. You can do yard work, mowing the lawn, picking the weeds. If you're not too shy to be out in the sun, learn some landscaping. There's classes online. Invest in learning how to landscape and get into that and charge for it. Okay, there's a lot of women out here that need little jobs done, like maybe they want you to put some shelves in their home, or build a shelving unit for them so that they can put books on their shelves. You know, there's people have a lot of computers out here that need to sit on top of some type of fixture. So learn how to make wooden desktops for computers. It couldn't be too hard. Some of it's very elementary basic, and you can sell those at a reasonable price. You know, there's a ton of things to do. Learn how to make quilts. Learn how to sew and make some quilts and sell them to the people in your area. Make quilts that are about Juneteenth, or quilts that are about HIV awareness, or quilts that are about people that have passed away of HIV, or, you know, of girls that have passed away because of domestic violence. So, you know, you can make those type of quilts, or you can make other types of quilts that have to do with patterns and colors. Some of you can go into business learning how to make doll clothes. There's a lot of 18-inch dolls out there that people have. Learn how to make African doll clothes and sell them on the internet. Learn how to make wigs for dolls and sell those on the internet. Dolls are a very big thing now, and they're going to be getting more and more popular because a lot less people are having kids, and so a lot of women are getting into doll collecting as a way to, you know, as a way of not having any kids around. That kind of makes up for it. Some are going into doll hobby, where they collect dolls, and so maybe you can learn how to make doll clothes, doll wigs, learn how to reroot their eyelashes, learn how to repair dolls and all the different things that dolls need to have repairs on them. I mean, there's got to be a ton of things to do. Learn how to repair bikes. There's so much information online now that you can put in the time to do the research to learn how to build really anything that you want to do as a business. You can do. You can escort people to and from the airport. You can escort people to and from the grocery store. Walk their groceries in for them. Put them up. Charge a fee for that. And try to go into business with a very positive attitude so that you can get more people to want to do business with you. I mean, just imagine if everyone living in your hood started opening up their own businesses. Okay, we got one over here for doll repair. We got one over here that braids hair. We got one over here that specializes in makeup. We got one over here that specializes in herbalism. We got one over here that specializes in African spirituality. Open up a bodega. Learn how to import and export things from Africa. Okay, if a lot of you want to be into African spiritualism, then you're going to need books, and you're going to need different, things, books, and priestesses and things of that nature. If you're going into African spiritualism, somebody needs to specialize in that. And so there's a ton of things girls in Blackistan can be doing to upgrade your areas. I've noticed when I was traveling and I went to East St. Louis, and I had to stop to get gas. It looked like a very, very dangerous area, okay? But I had to stop because I needed gas. I noticed as I was coming into these areas, these hyena-type areas, there were a lot of projects, and within a lot of these project areas, I noticed there were no curtains on the walls. Some of them might have been open, and then some of them looked like they just didn't have curtains. Okay, so learn how to make curtains so that people can have privacy. Learn how to make curtains so that people can replace old curtains. Learn how to make blinds. There's a tons of different ways to make blinds. Okay, I already said someone can learn how to make quilts and sell them. Learn how to cook and sell the meals to older people in the area, or just working people in the area. Go around and sell the meals to people in your area. You got to make sure the food is fresh. Get a license for it. And just sell it out of your home, maybe. People can line up and buy meals from your home right there in your project area, because a lot of people don't have time to cook. So start cooking, sell the meals. There's a ton of things, that people can do, and they can start doing this stuff at very young ages. Learn how to make prom dresses and sell them. And yeah, this stuff takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of research, but if you're going around not doing a whole lot every day, there's nothing going on in your area but a bunch of fighting. Use that time to learn how to invest in a business. Open up your business. Start a business in your area and build it. That there's people that have to have their taxes done. Learn how to do taxes and start doing people's taxes in your area. So those are seasonal job. That's a seasonal job. Are there any masseuses in your area? Somebody needs to get into learning how to do massages. Open up a massaging business. Don't anyone in your areas need to have massages done? And so with all these ideas that I just mentioned, somebody can start, bringing these ideas into the hood, and you guys can just start snatching them up. Okay, and then the next thing you know, you got a Black Wall Street going. Okay, but you need to jump on this shit and take it very seriously. And so what can you do to get this started? Well, you can gather up people in your area and talk to them about this in the on the grass in the project somewhere. Have a meeting with the people in the projects. I'm talking about the young women and men. Gather them up and start talking to them about starting to open up businesses in the area that people can build on. Start teaching kids how to make cookies. Sell those cookies on the weekends. That way kids have a little bit of money to go and do the things that they want to do. Go fishing on the, if you can, if there's some water around in your area, go fishing on the weekends. Learn how to fish. Sell the fish. Learn how to degut the fish and sell it. Okay, so there's a ton of things that you guys need to do. The men, okay, these are some ideas for you guys. Start building if there's any trees in your areas, or if there's a space where you can build a tree house, or you can build a small little house to gather up for meetings or to hang out, play games, like a recreational center. Build a small little recreational center so that you can meet up and have meetings and sell cookies and sell, for the girls to sell cookies, and the kids can sell tea, and they can sell things out of there. There's a lot of people that are in embroidery. Learn how to do embroidery on jeans. A lot of girls like that, where they have hearts embroidered on jeans, their initials. Get into that type of stuff. There's a ton of things you guys can be doing in your areas to where you can make solid, good, honest way of living. Start a business where if it snows, there's a team that goes around and clears the snow off of people's car for a fee. Make sure it's very affordable so that you're called every time it snows. People can depend on you and you're reliable. Just make sure you have safe equipment so that the cars don't get scratched. Start a dog walking business where you walk people's dogs for them. Start a dog grooming business where you teach yourself how to groom dogs. So tons of things can be done. Tons of businesses could be opened. All you need is a very small amount of money, and each time you make money, you build on it, and you just keep building until you got a business. And the next thing you know, if everybody takes it seriously, you got some small operations going there, right in your hood. And then when people see you getting somewhere, they're going to want the same thing for their hood. And then you can compete on a healthy level where it's not trying to kill each other and outdo each other. You want to build so that you're competing with the next project over, but in a very, very healthy manner. So you want to try to outdo your opponent or your competitors, but you want to keep it healthy so that you always have someone that you can compete with, okay? And you're doing it on a healthy level so that you're constantly building up and not coming down, okay? Start, if there's people into Christianity, start a church. Let's see what else. So I did mention masseuse. Within the masseuse business, there's a lot of people that need foot massages. There's a lot of people that need back rubs, neck rubs. So learn how to get those kinks out. Do a lot of research. Start your business. You don't have to have a degree in the hood. Just open up your own business doing research and become certified. And then once you become certified, once you start making enough money, then go to school and get a certificate or whatever you need and keep that business going. You don't always need a 4-year degree to start a business that's making a whole lot of money. Let's see. Because one thing I have noticed is that a lot of people that live in these run-down hoodie areas don't know a whole lot about herbalism. And so if you were to grow your own herbs and learn what herbs can help for headaches. There's herbs that can help for body pain, inflammation, herbs that can help with allergies, even healthy marijuana usage. How come the men can't start growing fields of marijuana, healthy marijuana that's not laced with anything, but healthy marijuana, and learn how to make CBD oil for aches and pains, and for people who have a lot of back pain and foot pain in the lower back, inflammation. Learn how to grow healthy, natural, 100% natural grade A marijuana, no chemicals. Okay, so that people can either rub it on or smoke it. Okay, and I'm talking 100% pure Aboriginal, homegrown stuff, nothing that's laced or anything like that. You want to be really, really natural and healthy about it so that people can start coming from other communities. They want your product because it's real and it can help their grandmother or it can help their nephew. You want to keep it on a positive side because you want the business. Start a business to try to teach people healthy ways of exercising, for exercising for women that don't have a lot of time. So maybe 15 to 30 minutes a day of exercise classes where you get out there on the lawn and you have someone instructing how to do Tai Chi. You have someone instructing how to do Qigong. You have someone instructing how to move in very rhythmic ways so that it's done within a certain frequency to put you at ease. There's a tons of different things that you guys can be doing. Someone can open up a Chinese food shop and sell fried rice with fried chicken. Black people make some of the best fried rice. I've known a few black people that make some really good fried rice. So learn how to make chicken fried rice. Learn how to make pork fried rice. Sell it. There's a ton of things you can do. For black men, there's a lot of computers that need to be fixed. Learn how to one of you can go to school, get the degree, come back and start training people, without a degree, how to repair computers, and they can get certificates. Not everyone has to have a degree. Sometimes there just needs to be one leader to lead everyone else. And then not everyone has to have a degree, though. Okay, so you can have computer repairers everywhere that know how to do AI, and they know how to do different programs, on the computer. There's a whole lot more to do out there than sex trafficking and selling drugs. There's a whole lot more to do. So, put yourselves to the challenge, open up nail shops, learn how to do acrylic nails, and learn how to, incorporate the latest nail Because the black girls, I'm telling you, when they put their mind to something, a lot of them do really, really good jobs in their own areas. Okay? So have somebody doing acrylics, have somebody doing gel nails. There's plenty of space, there's plenty of room for everyone to have their own business. And then you can go into, let's see, learn how to repair robots, because robots are going to be real big. Okay, so you want someone learning how to do that, and then starting a business to educate other people of how to do it. Because again, you just need one teacher, and then you can train the others how to repair. You know, so you guys can do a lot. Because like I said, when I was a kid, we used to make quilts, and we learned how to sew, basic stuff. We sewed pillows and doll clothes, and so we did that for fun. Sometimes we would make embroidery on t-shirts or jeans, and one girl learned how to make curtains, and so she eventually went into her own shop where she made curtains and tablecloths, and now she's selling things in her own store. Been in business for over 30 years now, just learning from her home hobby. She started just in the hood, just learning how to sew. You start at a young age, and then you got years to perfect it. And no time is ever too late. As long as you're alive and you're healthy and you're breathing, you're never too old to learn a new hobby. And think of it as a hobby, because when you start thinking of something as a way to make money, it becomes boring to you. If you think of it as a hobby, something that you enjoy doing, then you'll never have to work another day in your life. Some of the men can learn how to make swimming pools. Learn how to make shelves, learn how to repair computers, learn how to make websites. There's a lot of people that want their own websites. Learn how to build websites. So there's a whole lot that the men in the community can be doing besides, sex trafficking and, making, drugs. I mean, there's a tons of a healthy thing that you could be doing that is not against the law, and something that you can hold your head up and be proud about. Are there anyone that know how to repair electricity? There can be, maintenance. A lot of the men in the area can learn how to do maintenance. There's, you need plumbers. Go into plumbing. A lot of you can go into plumbing and learn that. Some of you can go into learning how to make hazmat suits for emergency situations, where if there is some type of outbreak, you can sell hazmat suits for people that need to go out in public. When COVID broke out here, some people were walking around with hazmat suits. I bought one, but because because their sizes are so much smaller than ours, the one that they sent me was way too small, so I never got to use it. But there were actually people out here walking around when COVID first came out in hazmat suits, because they didn't know how to take the virus at that time. And it was acceptable. They weren't stared at or anything because people didn't really know a lot about it. So if you have an herbalist in the area, if they get real deep into herbalism and they start combining that stuff with Chinese herbalism and European herbalism and African herbalism, you can become pretty powerful, where you can have your own doctor right there in your at least your own herbalist doctor that can take care of a lot of the conditions in your community right there, where at least if it's an emergency, they can at least give you something to tie you over until you can get to the emergency room. But yeah, herbalists are very well needed in hoodie areas. So there's a ton of stuff. There's a lot of these dolls that are being sold. They're called reborn dolls. You can learn how to make those dolls and sell them for a good fortune. And you can learn how to repair them. Okay? Because those dolls sell for... And black girls are very, very artistic. So learn how to make reborns. There's just a lot. There's needs to be shoe shiners, where men that go to work need to have their shoes shined, so you can get into the shoe repair business along with shoe shining. Because a lot of the times I have shoes that need to be repaired. Sometimes there's a tear and I got to do it myself because there's nobody around to do it. I've had to repair a few of my shoes. Okay. So small things like that, and then you put that in ads. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I'm certified in this, that, and the other. You can start getting phone calls. You could get some cards made, pass them out, hand them out. So many women need their children looked after because they might want to go spend some time with their boyfriend, or they might want to go spend a weekend somewhere. So learn how to, babysit kids overnight, where you have to keep them for 2 and 3 days at a time, and you can charge up the yin yang for that. Okay, just make sure that you know how to do business with people, because you don't want to, when you're working in hoodie areas, you don't want to get ripped off. So you need to have them leave some type of important collateral, so that you can make sure you're going to get paid, So just make sure you're securing yourself so that you know that people are paying you and it's genuine. Because the only problem with the hood is that a lot of the times those people have a hood type of mind frame, and sometimes they don't want to pay you. And so that type of mentality is what keeps people down, and it's what keep people behind, and you can't move forward when you're so busy trying to rip people off. You gotta come up out of that, and that's why spiritualism is really good to get into, whether it's Christianity, Islam, whatever you feel that will bring the good energy out is what you need to be into. Some type of spiritualism, so, but yeah, and if you go and clean people's homes, don't take anything, don't steal anything. Be completely genuine and honest so that people want to call you back, and do a good job. Don't do a half-assed job. do the best job that you can do. And you got to be careful letting people into your homes. And so, that's the only thing with house cleaning. You got to be able to really, really trust people. There can be girls coaching on how to lose weight. That can start a business. How can I drop 20 pounds? What did you do to drop your weight? Make videos about what you did and all that sort of thing. But yeah, people go into business doing a lot of stuff. I got some friends that know how to make soap. And so they make goat's milk soap and sell that on websites that, social media type websites. Some of them are selling soap. Goat's milk, pine tar, whiskey soap, lavender soap, lye soap. A lot of people love some natural soap. A lot of people like natural soap. So get into the soap making business. Because and then you can get into the homemade facial cream business where you make your own skin creams for, troubled skin. Get onto the internet, research it heavily, learn how to make your own potions of skin creams and body butters and sell them at a good affordable price. Okay, learn how to make chapstick and sell that. Shea butter lip balm. Just tons of different things that, tons of ideas that people in Blackistan can be doing to go in business. And if you guys are, building up your own shit and starting your own shit, you can build your own Wall Street eventually. But see, the only thing is that people are going to have to be honest, reliable, and dependable. And sometimes when you go generation after generation dealing with people who are not reliable and dependable, it's hard to become that way because it's passed down from generation to generation about, being a person that's not so good and positive. So if you can get out of that and become a really good person, and you are motivated to make good, honest money and do it at the best ability, you can do it. And then you don't leave your area, you build. You build right there, and then you don't have to go living in someone else's neighborhoods because you're building up your own neighborhood, and then you can pass your secrets and your ability down to your children. If you're in the soap making business, pass it down to your children so that they can, if they don't want to do it, at least they know how to do it, so that if they need something to fall back on, they can always pick up on what they learned as kids. You can if you have a little bit of land, if you got a backyard with a little bit of land, plant a garden and sell that food. Sell what you don't eat and sell it for an affordable price so that people keep coming back. 100% pure organic mustard greens here. Pass your card around and sell it. You'll sell that stuff like crazy because you can't get good, solid, food anymore because it's all tainted up with a bunch of shit, unnatural, chemicals and pesticides and that sort of thing. And so, if you live in an area where there's a lot of land, get a farm going, get some chickens out there, raise some chicken and sell the eggs. And so you could do that, and then raise some goats and sell goat's milk and goat's milk soap and goat butter, goat yogurt. Try to go organic. So there's a lot that if girls in Blackistan and the guys really got onto the internet and started doing some research, figure out what you want to do, research that stuff to no end, and go into business. You can also have a bilingualist in the area, somebody that studies foreign languages, and you can come back and start teaching people different languages right there in your hood. Spanish is highly recommended. French is highly recommended. German, Russian, Chinese, Mandarin Chinese. Okay, you can open up a business teaching young kids as well as young adults and adults foreign languages at a very affordable price. This year, I'm going to try to become fluent in German, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm also going to try to plant a garden in my backyard and see what I can do with that. There needs to be someone in your area that knows how about the planets and the stars and how they work. Okay, so there needs to be an astrologist so that people can come to you and find out, what month is good to do this, and when should I plant this, and when does this harvest, and all that type of stuff. You need astrologers, and you need a whole different variety of different things. Okay, let's see what else. You need dentists. Somebody needs to go to school to become a dentist, a couple of dentists in your area. You need to start building in your area so that you don't have to leave. So you can provide and do for each other. And you can marry the women that you grew up with and around. Okay? Or you can marry women from the next project over. Whatever floats your boat. But you want to be able to stay in your area and build. Put that dentist office in there. Put that herbalist over here. Put the masseuse over here. Put the astrologer over here. Put the dog groomer back over here. Put the African spiritualists over there. Put that Tai Chi instructor over here. There's tons of things that people in Blackistan can be doing to uplift their communities. On the weekends, have a bake-out sale so that if somebody's getting evicted, donate some of that money to them or help them or something. Start a fundraiser for people who need, help. and have someone who is very, very honest manage that money. You know, so there's tons of things. Build a church in your area, a brand new church, and start worshiping there. And if you don't want to build, you could build a church over here, and then over here you could build an African spiritual center. Okay, and respect each other's wishes. If one wants to go Christian, if another one wants to go into spiritualism, respect that. Honor that. People have different paths that they need to take to get to the same destination. You might want to go west, I might want to go south. But eventually I'm going to meet you, we're going to meet each other in the end, well, you know. So, yeah, this is very, very important for Blackistan, because I really, really have faith that you guys can pull yourselves out. But you're just going to have to come together with a plan, and you can do that by having weekly meetings. Start gathering people up and start having meetings. This is how you do it. Gather 2 or 3 people. Start having meetings. If they're serious, gather 3 or 4. You know, there's going to be some people that are not interested. Let them go. There's going to be others that are very interested and want to take this thing to the fullest degree. Okay, I'm going to say, let's just say it just needs to take 1 or 2 people to get together and talk to each other about having a meeting within a project area. Gather the people up and talk to them about going into their own business to better the community. At least 40% of them are going to take an interest in it. 30 to 40% are going to take an interest in it. And by the time it's all over, maybe 10% will take it to the fullest degree. That 10% is going to be the one that makes a difference in the area. And from that 10% will grow into 20%, and then it will grow into 30%. You see what I'm saying? Keep going until you get to 100%. But this is how people in other communities do it. They branch out, and you got hairstylist over here. You got a man over here that just opened up a business where he's doing carpentry. You got one over here that opened up a business where he's doing plumbing. You got 3 over here that went into business where they're doing barbering. You got 2 over here. You got 2 dentists over here. 3 masseuses over here. Come on, some of you would be great in these different areas. Find out which one you want to do. Find out which one you have an interest in. Research that. Maybe go to school if you can. If not, get a certificate. Practice what you can, and then start building. When you get to a certain level, then go to school. Get that degree. Come back and open up your own dentistry. And then you can start recruiting people to, come and work for you as just helpers, or you could start recruiting, and out of those, if out of 5 helpers, one of them is going to want to be a dentist. So see, that's how you start building. You don't really need to work in areas that are non-white. If you're staying in your area, all you have to do is have a weekly or a monthly meeting. Draw everybody together start with the girls, because men, I think the girls should start doing it first, because unless men are interested, if they take a huge interest and they're wanting to build something, bring them along and just start going from there. And then men will come in when they see that it's going somewhere. They'll voluntarily start coming. Okay, but don't come on a selfish level thinking, oh well, I'm going to take what you got or whatever. No, if you go in and you don't like what they're doing, then start your own thing. But just don't go into competition with people from your area. Just start your own thing, and you'll have followers come to you. But just don't ever go against people from your own area, because you don't want to start no beef, because then that's how shit gets started and people get hurt and, red rummed, and you don't want that. So you have to learn how to keep it all together. Okay, and this is where the spiritualism and the Christianity comes in. That's the glue that holds it together. You need some type of spiritualism. You need God, Jesus, whatever floats your boat. Pick one, stick with it, and build. Because that is going to be, the glue that keeps it all together. Okay, is a good heart. And that religion is what's going to keep it all mended. All right, I'm trying to get this thing at least an hour, because I've seen other people make videos for 2 and 3 hours, so I'm trying to get an hour in today, and so we'll see how it goes. I got a few more minutes, but yeah, I would like for people in Blackistan to put this shit to the challenge. Once again, a monthly meeting where you gather up people from the area, from the community, gather together, have a meeting in the front hall or in the recreational center if you got one. If not, go to the nearest park. Go to a private area and really sit down and talk to the people in that community about opening up businesses. Okay? Another idea that you can do is somebody can go into, if you got some people that are real good in woodcraft, you can build African masks. A lot of people love to have African faces in their home. Woodcraft. You could go into African woodcraft, where you're making African American or FBA statues and stuff like that. People love that. That is really, really spiritual, because it brings a lot of good luck. Woodcraft that you have shaped into someone from people from your community. So people that are real good with working with wood, carving things, you need those as well. People that know how to carve woodworks, so you can have different woodcraft beings in your home. Those are very inspirational. I have woodcraft hanging in my home. Some of FBA, some of Buddha, some of Indian avatars, and so that helps me keep going. I like to look at them, and they throw off a frequency that kind of puts me in a good frame of mind. Okay, those are real powerful and spiritual. So anybody that's into woodcraft needs to take that seriously and go into business. There's somebody out there that is useful for something. Okay, and you're going to get your talent from according to the month you were born, the time you were born. Each individual are given different gifts from God. Okay, so each person has something to offer to bring to the community. Some people don't ever unlock what talents that they have because they don't take the time to sit down and have that shit figured out. So if you don't know, okay, so now I'm at an hour, so I'm getting ready to finish up. If you don't know about your talents, sit down and have a long talk with yourself and figure out what it is you like to do. And then go to an astrologist and have them do a birth chart on you. And that also helps. Okay? And this is why I'm saying, if there's anybody that's into astrology, if there's anybody that likes looking at the stars at night through a telescope, that tells you right there you got an astrologist. Or, just even star watchers, stargazers. That's a start. That's the tip of the iceberg. So I would like to put Blackistan to the challenge. Go ahead and think about it. Let me know if you guys get anywhere. Write some comments down in my comment section about, I think I might be interested in this. Hold some meetings. See if people are interested, and go from there. And it's going to be a small amount. It's not going to start off big. There's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 people that are interested. Build on that and keep building. Then 4 will come into it. Then 2 or 3 years later, 5 might come into it. 6, 7, 8. Next thing you know, you got 15 people in on this shit. 2 or 3 years later. Okay. That 15 is eventually going to turn into 30, and then that's going to turn into 60. It can take 10 years to build up to 60, but you're building. Okay? Keep building. And that's all I would like to say on that topic. I'm out. Keep me posted. Thanks so much for listening.